Welcome to the Intuitive Rising podcast. I'm your host, Amy Brooks. This is a podcast that invites you to remember who you are, return to yourself, and rise into your highest and best soul self. Every week, I will be sharing inspiring conversations about topics that hold keys to your awakening. My mission as an international evidential psychic medium, Reiki practitioner, and intuitive mentor is to help you rise into who you were born to be. Enjoy the show. Hello, welcome back to another episode of the Intuitive Rising podcast. I'm your host, Amy Brooks. So excited to be here with you. We are here today for the July energetic forecast and guidance. So I'm already shuffling as I'm speaking to you. You know the drill with these monthly energy forecasts. We're going to pull a tarot card, an oracle, and a soul's journey lesson card with guidance for a month. And then I will tap in and channel an animal messenger, a color, and a number for us as well. And how are you guys doing? How are you handling the summer heat? It is already really hot where I am. I was talking to one of you recently, a listener and client, and was sharing like just the recent kind of heat wave that we had. And she said, I didn't realize it got that hot in Canada. I'm like, heck yes, it gets that hot in Canada. All right, so we have got a tarot card. I'm just going to pull them all ahead of time. That's what I'm going to do as we're chatting to begin our episode. And yeah, it's been hot. There's been a lot going on. Hope you guys are doing well, enjoying your summer vacations. If you have had one already, or if you're planning on one, if you got kids, if you're handling the kids being home from school, how you handling that? Are you doing okay? Reminder, I keep hearing take your time. So maybe that's a message about rushing or feeling like you don't have enough time to do all the things that you want to do this summer. Maybe, sometimes we get in this mindset, especially as parents, of we must do all the things. We got to have them entertained 24/7. I don't know about you, but I remember growing up and, really just never having a plan for my day. Just getting up, going outside and see what happens. Too funny. But yeah, just try to be in the moment, I think, is what Spirit's trying to say to us. Just be present as much as we can this summer. In July. Okay, so we've got our tarot and oracle rather. And we are now pulling our soul's journey lesson card. All right, we've got our 3 cards. Let's see what's coming for us in the month of July. Why I feel like nervous or something. All right. Oh, okay. We got the Temperance card. Temperance. Oh, Temperance. What do you have to say? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tap into the energy of this card versus its actual, guidebook meanings and just see what comes up here. I know this isn't the Judgment card, but I do hear the word judgment as well. And maybe that taps in or ties in a little to the message that I just had about having all these like grand plans and expectations and being a little bit like caught up in the expectations of how something's going to work out, or being so caught up in the future all the time that we are finding it hard to be in the present. So that could come up a little bit for you. Maybe you are feeling extra judgmental of yourself. Maybe you're being a little hard on yourselves right now. This is a card of balance. Okay, so I know we had that balance message come in for us in June, I believe, as well, and with the summer solstice kind of energy. And that's carrying forward for us into July and trying to find as much balance with the doing and the being as physically possible. I feel like this is an overarching kind of lesson for us really at this point in time. So it feels like maybe for this season, especially, is learning how to find balance between these two things. And we're kind of in that messy middle because it's uncharted territory for a lot of us. We are so used to like the do. And then when we kind of peel back that layer, right, that onion layer, it's like, oh, now we're kind of in the uncomfortable, like we've gone to a depth that before we didn't have. So now we're uncovering things that before we weren't aware of, right, or that we kept hidden, and now it's kind of in our faces. So for some of us, I feel like we're definitely on a healing journey, and for some of us, we may be actively intentionally on that healing journey. So like booking those therapy sessions, doing that mindfulness work, mindset work, cognitive therapy, behavioral therapy. I don't know if there's some of us, I just saw like almost like when somebody is hypnotized. So I don't know if someone's even trying hypnotherapy, but it just feels like there's a lot of focus on healing right now. But also what I'm hearing in the moment is that's wonderful and that's great. It's great because we have this new level of self-awareness that we didn't have before. But it's really important to not solely think of ourselves as something to fix all the time. Because, obviously that's not always nice, right? There's a lot of good too. We're not just, and not all bad, right? It's not like everything about us needs work, needs remediation. Not all of us need fixing. So we need to find a balance there too, right? I don't know about you, but with me, with like self growth, self actualization, I need a drink of water, self actualization, growth mindset, sometimes I can really kind of become unbalanced. I almost become like hyper aware of the things that I need to change. And maybe I become obsessed with learning something to fix myself, looking for this solution that I forget to just be too. Like, it's okay to just be too. And I think that's really the message of July that comes from this card is, hey, I know you're doing the work. I know you're running around. You're this busy bee and you've got all these things to do. And maybe this message applies a little bit to those of us that are also parents, right? In our parenting journey and wanting to heal things and wanting to break cycles so that they don't continue with our children. And so maybe we're so focused on making sure that everything is quote unquote perfect all the time that we maybe aren't allowing them to just be sometimes, or just be with us, or see the messy sides of us. Maybe it's hard, maybe we are find difficulty in letting them make their own mistakes, right? Because we just want to protect them all the time. These things are all just kind of flooding in this moment about this message, this temperance message. Um, Ultimately, temperance is about alchemy and blending energies, right? The light and the dark, the being and the doing, the healing, all of that is coming in. Moderation, an amalgamation, it says. I think I used a word that was not amalgamation, but had a similar meaning to it. So that makes sense as well. Um, yeah, patience comes in too. So that's what temperance is bringing in for us. Try your hardest to not swing to extremes in July. Try your hardest to be mindful of the fact that you may want to swing to an extreme, right? Of doing all the things and burning the candle and then crashing, not having any energy. Could be that for some of us. It could be that we're so hyper vigilant right now with our healing journey that we're not ever just kind of celebrating the parts of us um, that that wants to be celebrated, that wants to experience, that wants to be, right? Summer is such a sweet time to just be, to enjoy the fruits of our labors, to bask in the sun. We dream about summer coming all year, and then how many of us actually take the time to just be. And I'm not saying, like, obviously I know we have jobs, we have responsibilities, we can't just, it's not vacation 365 days a year, 24/7. But I feel Spirit's telling me that some of us, including me, because I know that Spirit's shutting me out, and that's okay, Spirit. Take the tough love. Some of us are like, we might physically be doing the thing. We might be like, oh, this is my chill time. Gonna sit outside and just meditate or read my book or listen to my music. But we might be physically sitting outside, but we're not in the moment because we're so far ahead of ourselves, or our mind is running, or we're like thinking of our to-do list. And so it's really not, you're not in the moment, right? So a little tough love from Spirit. Try to find some balance around that in the month of July, my friend. That will do you a world of good, is what I hear. Interesting. Our oracle message is this little wise creature, the bobcat spirit. It says, life is a mystery. Okay, so this is really bringing forward a feeling of trusting in the process. When it comes to this message with temperance and a feeling of like, maybe some of us are making all these plans and we're in preparation mode, but like maybe there's not a lot of wiggle room. Maybe there's not a lot of free time to just see what happens, right? This bobcat spirit is kind of driving home a feeling of, hey, like, make your plans, but leave room for magic. Leave room for signs and synchronicities. Leave room for divine support from the universe. Do your thing. It's like, have those expectations, but hold on to them loosely. Allow, have that goal, have those expectations, have that dream, and certainly align yourself with it, but allow the way that unfolds for you to unfold for you as it wants to, right? As it will. Take the foot off the gas a little bit is what I'm hearing. Just a little bit. This is kind of like, this energy that comes in with the bobcat is just kind of like putting the car on cruise control, right? Like, you're still in control. You're still awake. You're still aware, but you're not doing all the work. That's what Bobcat Spirit brings in, is like, put the cruise control on a little bit this summer. I don't mean literally, although maybe, but just in life. Okay. So think about where you could step off the gas a little. Where could you have a little bit more faith this July? Are there things that you are really stressing about, feeling overwhelmed about? Are there things you're really rigid around? Could you let go a little? Could you let the universe surprise you a little? That's very different energy than, I'm just going to sit here and do nothing, right? You're still doing something. You're still aligning. You're still taking action, but you are not holding on so tightly to how it unfolds. You just know it will. You trust it will unfold. Like when you put the cruise control on, you trust that you will get where you want. The car is going to take you to your destination, but you don't have to do all the work. That's what Bobcat Spirit brings in for us in July. And I love that message. That feels really good to me. Lastly, our soul, oh my goodness, you can't make it up. Our soul's journey lesson card is trust. Of course it is. Of course it's trust. Of course. I accept that my inner voice will always guide me correctly, right? That's really goes hand in hand with the Bobcat Spirit of life is a mystery. Allow a little bit of trust, of faith into your life. Do the things, take all the actions, find some balance. So here's your action, okay? Your action is not is trying to intentionally place yourself in a place of balance. Fluidity comes in, not going to extremes, allowing a little bit of time for imagination or play. Not everything has to be scheduled 24/7. Not everything, you don't have to know how everything's going to turn out, right? In order for you to do it. It's kind of like finding the joy in the doing. Find the joy in the doing in July. And then the Bobcat is saying the same thing. Do those things, have fun, but loosen the grip a little. Let life surprise you. Maybe you're trying to figure something out right now. Maybe you're working really hard at something, and the last thing that needs to be done is for you to just loosen the grip just ever so slightly so that you make space for the thing to happen. And you do that by trusting, because you trust that the universe has your back, and you trust that your own personal compass that resides in you will steer you in the right direction. I keep hearing cruise control, so I think that's a great metaphor for the energy of July. Think about cruise control. Okay, so let's tap in to a number. We're going to start with a number this time. What number comes through for us in the month of July? Interesting, a 1 and a 7. Number 17, which also, if you add those together, equals 8. Um, 8 is an abundant number. 8 is this, I keep seeing the 8 being flipped to the side, right? And being an infinity symbol. So I feel like this is in I'm hearing like spiritually abundant time. A spiritually abundant time for us. So the alchemy that happens through balance and through trusting and having some faith is like spiritually, that's the soil. Like it's very rich for your spiritual life right now is what I'm hearing. So there's a lot of spiritual growth that can be made in the month of July simply by watching for extremes, having a little fun, and loosening the grip a little bit. Oh, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So we've got 8, 8, and I just keep seeing 8, 8, 8. So like, pay attention to how you see 8, or is it a number that you just keep seeing all the time? Are you seeing like 1 and 7, right? 7 and 1, again, it equals 8. All of those numbers feel like they have a little bit of magic for them for us this month. So pay attention to the 8s. If there's more that comes to me, or that I, discover afterwards that wants to be said about the energy of 8, I'll make sure that I put it in the show notes. But number 8 is our number for July. Okay, and now we're going to move to an animal. Interesting. So I heard hare, like HARE, like a rabbit, but a hare. And I don't know the difference between a rabbit and a hare. I'm sure there is one. But it's like the energy that comes through with this. I'm seeing like a white rabbit hare. I don't know the difference, but I'm just going to say hare. Okay. And it looks to me like there's this feeling of like wisdom that comes through when I look at this or feel this energy. Very wise, like almost like elder energy comes through with the hare. And it's interesting. So this is a really cool image. It's like I'm seeing this like hare with these very tall stand-up ears, and looks, like I said, older or wise. And like I could see these little like round glasses in this moment, not originally. And they kind of came off and then went back on. You know, those little glasses that could like sit on the end of your nose but don't have any arms? That's what I just saw, as if somebody could go like, take them on and off their nose. And it was like, what I heard was take in your surroundings. Take in your surroundings. Look at everything. Observe everything. Okay, so I feel like that definitely ties into that message of trying to find some time to actually be in the moment, to take a deep breath, to actually read that book when you say you're going to read the book, versus, thinking about your grocery list when you're supposed to be having some chill time, right? Take in your surroundings. Take a moment to put down the book, to put down the phone. Take a moment to just look around. Just look around. I'm hearing like you will find answers in everything that you see. The answers that you seek will show up for you in unexpected ways. And I love that message, and I have goosebumps as I say it, because it's so aligned with the life is a mystery message from the Bobcat. Okay, so thank you, Mr. Hare. This is really just being to observe in the month of July. Make time to be and to observe and to take in the big picture and to notice those little things. Notice in July. The art of noticing actually will help you a lot with your spiritual development and growth, is what I hear. To be in that moment. You know that term glimmers, which I've seen around on social media? It's kind of like the opposite of triggers. We know what triggers us, but like, what's a glimmer? A glimmer is something that just brings you inherent joy. You're like, oh, it's something simple like the way the light is cast, during golden hour or in the early morning, or the way that the leaves sound when they're rustling in the trees, like just little pockets of joy, little things, everyday things that happen, but we miss unless we're taking a moment to be and to observe. So that's your guidance from a Mr. Hare this month. And as for color, very clearly can see blue. I feel like darker shades of blue come in, like sapphire, cobalt. These are the shades that I see in my mind's eye. I just hear the word loyalty. Loyalty to self, loyalty to others comes in. Interesting. So maybe we're trying to find a balance between being loyal to self or being loyal to another. Self-care, trying to balance, how do I care for myself while I'm also, a busy professional, a busy parent, a busy spouse, a busy sister, daughter, mother, whatever. Okay. Loyalty. That's interesting. Let me see what else comes in. Definitely a connection to water comes in, and just making sure that you that you spend time on the water, around the water, in the water. I feel like that will be, obviously, that's such a summer activity, right? But like the energy of water is something that we can work with any time of year. And if we can't be in it or on it, or like we can't swim or put our feet in it, then we can definitely visualize working with water. And that just comes in really strong. Maybe you want to listen to water sounds. Maybe this is about going for a swim, sticking your feet in the creek. It doesn't really matter how you work with the water, just that you do. It feels like there's a strong water connection for us in the month of July as well. I think that makes sense too. If you even think about July, for the majority of July, it is Cancer season, and Cancer is a water sign. So the emotions, right? And this like loyalty to self comes in really strong. And that might be something that plays on your emotions a little, or that you feel emotional about. Earlier in this episode, I kind of picked up a little bit on some of us are really like, we're on our healing journey and we're trying to be better for the people. We're trying to be better not only for ourselves, but the people in our lives. And those of us that are caregivers may also, be really, really focused on making sure that we're doing a really good job with the children in our lives, and that we are, doing better, and that we are coming from a place of positivity or optimism, or a place of being healing, right? Or being healed. And the message with that is like, that's wonderful, and you are doing such a good job, but you are not just something to fix. And sometimes, it's just about being in the moment, and it's okay to show others. If you're struggling, it's okay to show people the messy middle, right? Including our children sometimes. And don't run away from the emotions. Sometimes this busyness that comes in, this need to have everything lined up, can be a response to, I don't like uncertainty, or I don't really want to go there. And if we go there, like, I just can't predict what would happen. So I don't want to go there. So, there's a little bit of avoidance that comes in with that too. So just be mindful about that. And so this water connection, or this message around a loyalty to self and, versus another, might be something that's on our mind. Like, are we trying to be all things to all people, right? Is there something, is there a way that we have been disloyal to ourselves? Contemplations for you this month for sure. I have had the best time being with you today, as always. I hope you enjoyed the guidance that came in today. Lots of good stuff. And I'll definitely see you here again next week with another episode. And yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait till I can give you a big old update. I can't wait to be on the other end. See, I need to take my own guidance here because this is where I've been too. I am so excited about getting past this part of my journey, right? About like selling and buying and moving. And I just want it to be done and I want to be there and I want to share so many things with you. But I'm waiting until it unfolds to share with you about all of the things that have been happening. And I'm also reminded in the moment to like, hey, hold up. Like, life is happening now. So don't just rush ahead and want to be on the other side because the growth happens here, right? Be in the moment. Don't try to avoid the moment. That's a real big message for July. Have a great day. See you guys later. If you have enjoyed this episode, please consider hopping on over to wherever you listen to your podcast and giving it a 5-star review. Thank you so much in advance. If you'd like to keep in touch, please head over to my website, theintuitiverising.com, to keep up with all the things that I have been doing. I also have a private Facebook community for people just like you. It's called the Intuitive Rising Community. All you got to do is request to join and I will let you in. Keep rising.